Lindsay lived in San Francisco his whole life. My family got transferred up to San Francisco in 1965. I was 17 and he was 16. And I was a senior and he was a junior. And I met him only once. And I never saw him again for 2 years. And then 2 years later, he and his band that he was in called me and asked me if I wanted to be in their band. And I said, sure. And so I joined this really, really good, very hard rock and roll band. Because why? Because we lived in San Francisco. And we also lived in San Francisco, which was like the mecca of music. It was Woodstock. It was the best place you could possibly be if you were in music or if you were an artist. So anyway, so we started playing really big gigs. We opened for Jimi Hendrix, 75,000 people at Santa Clara Fairgrounds. We opened for Janis Joplin, 30,000 people at Stanford Frost Amphitheater. We opened for Santana, What a Little Ways Away for that, and for Carmel Monterey. Right before Woodstock, the movie. We opened for Chicago at the Fillmore West. We played the Winterland Ballroom, we played the Avalon Ballroom, and we even opened for Creedence Clearwater in Lodi for Stuck in Lodi. We were actually stuck in Lodi. So anyway, this was like the perks of being in a band that opens, that's 8th on the bill, is that you get to stand on the side of the stage. You get to stand like right over on the other side of Christine. You get to watch what's going on. So you get to sponge it up and learn and take it home with you. And that's what we did. And so anyway, we made pretty darn good money. And even though I was going to college, my parents were totally supporting me. I was going to San Jose State. And I'm laughingly thinking, I know that my mother must have thought she should put this in a savings account, but she didn't make me do that. She just let me have the money. And it's like, you know, your mother can say to you, give me that money. But she didn't. So I heard about this store that was in downtown San Francisco. And it was where, rumor had it, all the rock and roll women that were famous and had money went and bought the clothes that they wore on stage. So I saved up my money and I drove up there in my Corvair Monza, convertible, candy apple red, black interior, 5-speed. I buzzed up to San Francisco and I walked into this store called the Velvet Underground. Well, it was not what I expected. It was tiny. It was piled to the rafters with really beautiful things, but it was a very little place. And it had a beautiful hand-painted floor, which I've never to this day ever seen anything like it since. And I stood there on that floor and there was nobody in there. And I went like, oh, there's nothing in here I can do. Nothing. Not even a thread. However, I am standing here where I think Janis Joplin has stood, and Grace Slick has stood, and God knows who else that's famous has stood right here and said, I want that, and also that. So I said, well, it's because I'm here, I'm distracted, because I'm actually here. I said, I have this little thing called a seizure/premonition, and it's like a, and I saw the future, and I saw Christine and Mick and Lindsay and John and Stevie. I saw Fleetwood Mac. I saw it happening in front of me. And I thought, and it was so strong that I thought, you know what? It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be able to come back to this store and I'm going to be able to not even look at the price tag and buy anything here I want at the Velvet Underground. So, my story really is, especially here in my time, is that if you want something bad enough and you fight for it and you don't listen to anybody else and everybody else is going to say you can't do it and you're not strong enough or smart enough or you don't have any money and you can't do it, you're too young, and you're just going to go like, you're wrong, I can, because we are living proof that dreams totally do come true. And you can have your dream if you want. So I'm back to the Velvet Underground, back to the floor that I loved, to a room with some lace and some paper flowers, back to the gypsy that I wanted. underground.